Rain poured hard that night. Cold, silent, empty. Travis walked alone through the back streets of Sector 12, a forgotten part of the human colony. The lights above flickered weakly, and the ground was wet with trash and puddles. He wore a thick coat and carried a small bag of food he bought after a long shift in the scrapyard. He was used to being alone. No family, no friends, just quiet work and silent walks home. But that night, something changed. A strange sound stopped him, a soft whimper, almost like a child. He paused, looked around, nothing, just shadows and leaking pipes. Then he heard it again closer. Now, shaky voice barely above a whisper. "Dad?" Travis froze. He turned his head slowly toward the alley to his left. It was dark, but he could see a small, broken cage behind a pile of metal junk. Something or someone was inside. He walked closer. His boots splashed through the puddles. As he reached the cage, he saw her, a small alien girl, thin, shivering, big, glowing eyes full of fear and sadness. Her skin was pale lavender, and parts of her body were wrapped in torn cloth. She looked weak, sick, abandoned. Travis knelt beside the cage. What are you doing here?" he asked softly. The girl crawled forward, hands trembling. Her voice was like cracked glass. You came back." "Dad." Travis felt a chill run through his spine. "I'm not your father," he whispered. But her eyes didn't change. She looked at him like he was the only thing in the world. The cage had no lock, just rusted metal. Travis touched the bars and pulled gently. With a creak, the door swung open. The girl didn't move. She just stared at him. "Come on," he said, not knowing why. "You can't stay out here. You'll freeze." Slowly, she crawled out, her legs barely working. She tried to stand and fell forward. Travis caught her in his arms. She was light, too light, like she hadn't eaten in days. Her body trembled against his chest. "Please," she whispered again, holding on to his coat. "Don't leave me." Travis looked around. No one was watching. No cameras. No patrols. Just rain and silence. He sighed. Something deep inside him, something long buried, told him to take her. Not to walk away. He wrapped her in his coat and started walking home. Back at his small apartment, Travis gently laid the girl on his old couch. He turned on the heater and grabbed a towel. "Here," he said, drying her face. "You're soaked." She flinched at first, but then relaxed under his hand. "What's your name?" he asked. She blinked slowly. "They didn't give me one." "What do you mean I was?" "Experiment 8A, she replied. "They made us 2 tests, love. But I didn't follow orders. I called one of the trainers Dad. They got angry, put me in the cage, said I was broken." Travis stared at her in disbelief. "You were part of a lab experiment." She nodded. "Yes. They wanted to see if something not human could feel like a human child. I felt something, but they hated it." Travis sat beside her, unsure of what to say. Her small hand touched his coat again. "But when I saw you, I felt it again. Safe, warm, like before." "Like Dad?" He didn't answer. He didn't know how to. Later that night, after giving her warm soup and letting her sleep, Travis stood by the window, watching the rain. He had questions. Who made her? What did they want? Were they looking for her? One thing was clear. She called him Dad, and deep down, that word touched something inside him, something he thought was gone. Outside, the rain kept falling, but inside, the warmth had returned. For the first time in years, Travis wasn't alone, and neither was she. Travis didn't sleep that night. He kept looking at the strange little girl curled up on his old couch. Wrapped in a blanket, her soft breathing was calm now, but Travis could still see the bruises on her arms and legs. The pain wasn't just on her body, was inside her eyes. Her words kept echoing in his head. They made us to test love. They called me broken. I felt something. They hated it. What kind of monsters would do that to a child? Even if she wasn't human, she felt real, and that word, Dad. It hit something inside him like a match in a dark room. In the morning, Travis cooked simple eggs and toast. The girl watched him from the couch, still silent. Kia, her big eyes, followed every movement. She looked scared to speak. "You hungry?" Travis asked. She nodded. Then quickly looked down like she had done something wrong. "You don't need permission to eat," Travis said gently, putting the plate in front of her. "Just eat." She held the toast with both hands like it was treasure. Travis sat across from her, sipping old coffee. "So, can I ask questions now?" he said softly. She hesitated, then gave a small nod. "What exactly are you?" "I'm a hybrid," she said quietly. "Part organic, part machine. They made us in Lab 9, deep under the Capital District." "Who's they?" "The Emotional Response Division. ERD. They wanted to see if something not human could form bonds like a child. If we could feel love, trust. If we could call someone mom or dad and mean it." Travis blinked. "They made you just for that." She nodded. "We were numbers. No names, just units. I was 8A. They thought I was responding too emotionally. I failed tests. I cried when other hybrids were removed. So they locked me in a cage, said I wasn't a subject anymore. Just trash." Travis gritted his teeth. "They just threw you away." She looked up, eyes full of silent pain. "Yes, but I still remember what I felt when I first said it. The word Dad. I didn't know what it meant. But I knew it felt safe. It felt warm. And now?" Travis asked. She blinked. A tear rolled down her pale cheek. "I felt that again when you opened the cage." Travis sat back, heart heavy. She wasn't lying. Her pain was too real, too fake. She may not have been born like a human child, but she had a soul. "I'm not a father," he said, staring at the floor. "I never even had a family. I don't know how to be one." "But you didn't walk away," she whispered. "What a real dad does, right?" Travis didn't answer. The silence between them spoke louder than words. Later that day, Travis went through his old data tablet, trying to find anything on Project Father Seed or Lab 9. But most links were locked behind government firewalls. Only one post caught his attention. A leaked message from 5 years ago. It read, "Project Father Seed marked as failure. Subject 8A showed extreme emotional connection to test subjects. Termination approved. Assets discarded. Termination." She wasn't even supposed to survive, but somehow she did. He returned to the room and found her trying to open the window. Her small fingers struggled with the lock. "Hey, what are you doing?" he asked. She jumped back in fear. I'm sorry. I wasn't escaping. I just wanted to see the sky again." Travis paused, then walked over and gently opened the window for her. Cool air blew in. The girl stepped closer and took a deep breath, her eyes closing with peace. "I forgot how the sky looked," she said softly. Travis watched her. In that moment, she wasn't an experiment. She wasn't a failed subject. She was just a child. That night, as she rested again on the couch, Travis sat by her side. "What do you want to be called?" he asked. She blinked. "You mean, a name?" "Yeah." She thought for a moment. "Okay. You? Name me?" Travis looked into her eyes, then said slowly, "How about Mira?" She smiled. A real smile. Mira, I like that. The next day, Travis decided he was going to protect her. No matter who came for her, no matter what it cost, she wasn't a number. She wasn't a tool. She was his now, and he was ready to be her father. The city slept, but Travis couldn't. He sat on the edge of his bed, staring out the window. Mira, the little alien girl he had saved from a cage, was finally asleep in the next room, peacefully wrapped in a blanket, her head resting on a pillow for the first time in her life. Travis had lived alone for so long. He never imagined his life would change because of one broken child calling him dad. But deep inside, something had shifted. He didn't just feel responsible. He felt something more, something like love. Suddenly, the lights flickered. Travis stood quickly. A low hum buzzed through the walls, soft but unnatural. Not the sound of a storm, not a broken wire. Something was here. He stepped into the hallway and reached for the small tool gun under the counter, one he kept for defense, just in case. The same scrapyard tool he had used against rats and scavenger bots. But this time, he might need it against something worse. Then came the knock, soft, slow. One knock, then two, then silence. Travis didn't move. He waited, heart pounding. Another knock. This time harder. He stepped slowly toward the door, but didn't open it. He glanced at the monitor screen beside it, which showed a blurry image of the hallway. Outside, 3 figures, tall, black suits, no faces shown. No ID tags, no shadows. They weren't neighbors. They weren't friendly. They were here for Mira. He backed away from the door and ran to Mira's room. She was already awake, sitting up, eyes wide with fear. "They found me," she whispered, voice shaking. I feel them. I always do." Travis knelt beside her. "You have to trust me, Mira. We're not letting them take you." Her hands clutched his arm tightly. "If they catch me, they'll erase everything. My memories, my feelings. I'll forget you. I'll forget Dad." Travis swallowed hard. "Then we're not letting that happen." The knock turned into pounding. Boom, boom. "Open the door." "This is official government business," came a voice from outside. Cold, robotic, lifeless. Myra's body trembled. "They always say that. Right before they take us." Travis stood, his voice low but firm. "Time to run." He grabbed his coat, stuffed a few protein packs and water bottles into a bag, and held Mira's hand tightly. They rushed toward the fire escape window. Travis kicked it open and helped Myra climb out first. Her small hands struggled on the ladder, but he stayed behind her, steadying her as they climbed down into the alley. Above them, the door shattered with a loud blast. They were inside. Travis and Mira ran through the alley, cold air burning their lungs. Behind them, footsteps echoed, heavy, fast. Getting closer, Mira cried out as she tripped on a broken pipe. Travis scooped her up without stopping and kept running. Up ahead, the street opened into the crowded night marqueta. Blessing, people, lights, noise, cameras. The perfect cover. Travis ducked behind a stall and caught his breath. Mira was in his arms, gripping his coat tightly. "They're fast," she whispered. "They don't stop. I noticed," he said, panting. "But I've survived worse." He peeked out from the stall. The agents had paused at the alley, scanning the crowd. They couldn't risk exposure. "Not in front of cameras and civilians. They're trying to blend in," Travis whispered. "They'll wait until we're alone again." Mira replied. "That's how they work. Silent, secret." He nodded. "Then we stay in public, always moving, never alone." They spent the rest of the night slipping between old train stations and vending machine corners. At one point, They slept for 2 hours inside an abandoned recycling bin. Myra curled against Travis, holding onto his arm like he was her only lifeline. In truth, he was. But as the sun rose, Travis knew something. This wasn't going to end with running that morning. Travis accessed an old friend's black market terminal deep in the underground. He needed answers. The terminal buzzed to life, and a familiar face flickered onto the screen. "Travis," the voice said, "haven't heard from you in years. What's wrong?" "I need information," Travis said. "About Project Father Seed. Hen Subject 8. The man on the screen frowned. "Why do you want to dig up that mess?" "That project was erased for a reason. Because she's alive. She's with me. And they came last night to take her." The man paused, then leaned forward. "You're playing with fire, Travis. They don't want her back because she's valuable. They want her gone because she's the only one who felt love. That scared them. She was proof that hybrids weren't weapons, they were children." Travis's hands tightened into fists. "Then I'll protect her like one." The screen went black. But Travis already knew what he had to do next. Back at the hideout, Mira looked up at him. "You're not giving me back, are you?" she asked. Voice small. Travis knelt, brushing a hand over her silver hair. "Never," he said. "You're mine now, and no one takes my daughter from me." Her eyes filled with tears, and for the first time, she called him something different. "Thank you, Dad." 2 days passed. Travis and Mira stayed hidden inside a storage unit behind the old train yard. The air smelled like rust and oil, but at least it was safe for now. Mira sat quietly on a crate, her knees pulled close to her chest. She hadn't said much since the chase, but Travis could see it in her eyes. Something inside her was changing. She wasn't just scared anymore. She was thinking, feeling something deeper. "Here," Travis said, handing her half a protein bar. "It's not much, but it'll keep you strong." Mira took the food with both hands and gave him a small nod. "Thank you, Dad." That word still shook him every time. He wasn't used to hearing it, but from her lips, it meant everything. She had no one else. And now, neither did he. Later that night, Travis lay awake on the floor, using his coat as a blanket. Myra was a few feet away, asleep again, or so he thought. Then suddenly he felt something, a pressure in his head, like someone whispering inside his thoughts. He sat up, eyes wide. "Myra." He didn't say it out loud, but somehow she responded. "You heard me?" Her voice echoed inside his mind. Travis stared at her. Myra was still lying down, eyes closed, lips not moving. He stood up and rushed to her side. "Myra, what's happening?" She opened her eyes slowly. I didn't mean to. I was dreaming about you. Then I felt your mind. And I spoke without speaking. Telepathy." He whispered. She nodded slowly. It didn't hurt. It felt natural. The next morning, Travis tested it again. He stood near the door while she stayed on the floor. Without saying a word, he thought, "Can you hear this?" She looked up instantly and nodded. Double quotes, "Yes. I can hear you, even without your voice." Travis took a deep breath. She wasn't just a lab-made girl. She was evolving, changing over the next few hours. Strange things kept happening. When Travis spilled a can of water, Myra snapped her fingers instinctively and the spilled liquid lifted slightly off the floor before splashing back. She gasped in shock. So did Travis. Later, when a rat came near their hiding spot, Mira stared at it and the rat turned away like it had been pushed by something unseen. It wasn't just telepathy. It was something deeper. Emotion-based power. That night, Travis asked, carefully, "Did the scientists ever tell you what you really were?" Myra looked down, quiet for a long time. They said I wasn't supposed to feel strong emotions, that it would make me unstable. But I couldn't help it. What do you mean, when the others were taken? I cried, when they punished me, I screamed. When you found me, I felt hope. She looked up, her hands shaking slightly. I think my emotions unlock something powerful. Travis sat back slowly. Like what? I don't know yet, she whispered, but it's growing. Later, as they prepared to sleep, Travis noticed a glow around her fingers, soft and purple like her skin. It shimmered gently before fading. You're not dangerous, he said firmly. No matter what they say, Myra looked unsure. But what if they're right? What if I can't control it? What if I hurt you, Dad? Travis reached over and placed his hand over hers. Then we'll learn together. That's what parents do. We don't run from our kids, we help them become strong. Myra's eyes watered again. No one ever said that to me. Well, get used to it. Travis smiled softly. You're mine now. Protect what's mine. The next day, a drone flew low over the yard. Travis pulled Myra behind a steel container. The drone paused, then hovered away. But Myra stayed calm. Her eyes glowed faintly, and the air around them felt thick like time itself had slowed. Travis didn't understand it fully, but he realized something. Her power reacted to fear and love. The fear made it flare. The love made it focus. That night, under the moonlight filtering through the broken roof, Myra sat beside Travis. Dad, she asked. Yeah. Do you think I was made wrong? He shook his head. No, I think you were made right. The others just didn't understand it. She looked at her glowing fingers. Then I want to learn. Not to fight, but to protect you too. Like you protect me. Travis smiled. Deal. They sat in silence for a while. Then, Myra leaned her head against his arm. For the first time, she didn't look like a lab creation. She looked like a daughter, and she was beginning to believe it too. A soft wind blew through the train yard. The rusted metal groaned. Somewhere in the distance, a horn sounded long and low. Travis stood near the edge of the yard, watching the sky slowly change from black to blue. Myra was still sleeping behind him, hidden in their makeshift shelter beneath old shipping containers. Her small body was curled up under layers of cloth. But Travis could see the light, that soft purple glow, flickering under her fingertips. Even in sleep, she was changing, and the world would not let her change in peace. Travis needed answers, real answers, not just rumors or stories. From black market terminals, he remembered an old contact, Darren Vo, former government engineer who had vanished after a major whistleblow years ago. If anyone knew about Project Fatherseed, it was him. Travis opened his communicator and cracked into the dark network again. After typing a hidden passphrase and waiting for what felt like forever, a message popped up. Meet at Dock 77. No drones. No watchers. Come alone. He looked back at Myra. No way was he going alone. Later that day, he and Myra approached the abandoned Dock 77, hidden behind rows of cargo and wrecked shuttles. It was cold, quiet, but the kind of quiet that warned of hidden eyes. A man stepped out from the shadows, older, thin, greasy white beard. His eyes twitched like someone who hadn't trusted anything in years. Travis, the man said. Darren, the man nodded. Then looked at Myra. She's the one. Myra hid behind Travis, peeking out. I knew someone would save one of them. Darren said, voice low. They tried to wipe everything, the files, the footage, the labs, but you can't erase a soul. Inside an old cargo container turned secret hideout. Darren poured hot liquid into metal cups and placed them on the table. Travis leaned in. Tell me everything. Darren took a deep breath. Project Fatherseed wasn't just about hybrid testing. It was about human behavior control. They wanted to find out if love could be replaced, simulated, given to something artificial. He glanced at Mira. She wasn't made just to feel. She was made to teach. Her brain was designed to adapt to human emotional response, mimic. It copy it, then pass it on, like emotional code. Travis's jaw tightened, and when she actually felt those emotions, Darren nodded. That scared them, because it meant she wasn't a tool. She was a person. Mira stayed quiet. Her little hands clutched the warm metal cup like it was life itself. But there's more, Darren added. The original father seed. Files show that Subject 8A her began showing what no other subject did. Bonding, rejection. She rejected all the fake trainers, the actors, but then, in secret simulations, she reacted instantly to natural affection. No script, no orders, just kindness. She wasn't supposed to survive, Travis whispered. They called her a threat. Darren said, because she didn't just copy human love, she woke up something inside humans too. One of the trainers resigned crying. Another went missing. Travis felt his heart tightened. Myra was never broken. She was too real for a world that wanted control, and now, the government didn't want her back. They wanted her gone. Darren stood and opened a locked crate. Inside were old data chips, dusty but still working. These are the last surviving blueprints of Project Father Seed. He said, you take them. You'll know everything. But once you do, there's no going back. Travis looked at Mira. She nodded. He took the chips. As they were leaving, Darren stopped them. One more thing, he said. You need to know why she's glowing. Travis raised a brow. She wasn't just built with neural links. She has something else. Something. Alive. A seed. A seed. Travis asked. Yes, Darren replied. An energy source grown in her body, tied to her emotions. It's why she can connect to minds, shift objects, sense danger. It's not tech. It's something. Alien. He stared into Travis's eyes. That girl. She might be the first real bridge between humans and something bigger. That's why they fear her. Later, back in their hiding place, Travis showed Mira one of the data chips. She looked at it quietly, then said, Is that my past? He nodded. Yes, but we don't have to read it if you're not ready. She smiled, soft and sad. I want to know who they made me to be, so I can choose who I want to become. Travis pulled her close, wrapping his arms around her small frame. No matter what they put in those files, he said, you're my daughter. Not a project, not a weapon. Just Mira. And in that moment, her glow became brighter. Not from fear, but from hope. The rain returned, heavy, cold, unforgiving. Travis stood at the edge of the ridge, staring down at the ruins of Lab 9, the place where Myra had been made, tested, and thrown away like garbage. The steel walls had long since rusted. The fences around it were broken. But beneath the ground, the real lab still lived, and somewhere down there, the truth waited beside him. Mira held his hand tightly. She had stopped glowing, not because she lost her power, but because something deeper was happening. She was afraid. I don't have to go in, Mira whispered. We can run, keep hiding. Travis looked down at her. If we keep running, they'll always chase us. But if we destroy what made them hunt you, they lose. Mira's eyes glistened. But it's not just machines down there. It's my past. It's pain. They made me cry in that place. I bled in that place. I called out for help, and no one answered. Travis knelt in front of her and placed a hand on her cheek. You didn't have anyone then, he said softly. But now you do. She nodded slowly. Then let's finish it together. They entered through the cracked maintenance door behind the main building. The lights flickered faintly, still powered by emergency systems, as they walked down. The rusted staircase, Mira's breath quickened. Every wall whispered memories. Metal beds, cold floors, empty stairs, and the silence was the same silence she remembered from her cage. They reached the central chamber, the testing room, the place where she had first called someone Dad. But that person had walked away. This time, she was not alone. Travis moved ahead, flashlight in hand, on the far wall. A glowing console still blinked, active. Travis plugged in one of Darren's stolen data chips. The machine whirred. Screens came to life. Videos, reports, and experiment logs appeared. One file blinked red. Subject 8A emotional rupture file locked. Travis clicked it. A video played on the screen. Mira appeared younger, smaller, wearing a gray jumpsuit. Electrodes were strapped to her head. She sat on a steel table, surrounded by scientists. A male voice said, "Attempt bonding sequence 34. An actor entered, pretending to be a father. He smiled coldly. "Hello, sweetheart. I'm your dad." The real Myra in the present flinched. The Myra in the video stared blankly at the man, then shook her head. "You're not him," canoozed. The man continued his script, but the small girl's voice grew louder. "You're not my dad." My dad wouldn't lie. Suddenly, equipment exploded around her. Sparks flew. The camera fell. The screen went dark. Travis turned to her. "You broke the simulation," he said. Mira's hands shook. "I wanted it to be real, but I knew it wasn't, so I destroyed it." He looked at her, his voice steady. "That's not weakness, Mira. That's strength." Suddenly, dash footsteps dot from the hallway, fast, heavy. They had been followed. Travis grabbed Myra's hand and pulled her behind a lab table. From the main door, two black suit agents entered with weapons drawn. "We only want the girl," one said coldly. "Hand her over and walk away, human." Travis stood tall. "You want her? Then come take her." One agent moved forward. Mira stepped beside Travis, trembling, but then her eyes began to glow. Not purple this time, bright white. The air shifted. The walls vibrated. The computers flickered. The ground hummed. "Stay back," Travis warned, but it was too late the moment the agent fired. Mira raised her hand. The bullet stopped mid-air. The second agent rushed forward. Mira stared at him with a silent wave of her hand. He collapsed, not hurt, just frozen. Travis watched in awe, not just because she protected him, but because she controlled it. She didn't kill. She didn't scream. She simply stopped the pain. More agents arrived from the stairway. Travis turned to the console. "Mira, we need to destroy the lab." She nodded. She placed both hands on the terminal. The lights flickered wildly. Then screens cracked. Wires sparked. Glass shattered around them. Mira's voice echoed through the lab, not through speakers, but in every mind present. "You will never hurt another child again." Boom, the room shook. Explosions tore through the walls. Myra collapsed. Exhausted, Travis caught her. Smoke and fire roared behind them as they escaped through a back tunnel, barely reaching the outside, before the entire facility collapsed behind them. Outside, the sky was dark again, but calm. They sat by a small cliff, watching as the last piece of the lab disappeared into smoke. "It's over," Travis said. Myra leaned her head on his shoulder. "I'm not scared anymore," she whispered. "I used to think I was made to be broken, but now I know." She looked up at him. I was made to love. Travis held her close. You weren't made to be loved. Mira, you were made to love others, and you're doing that better than any of us. The sun rose slowly. For the first time in days, it wasn't hidden behind clouds or smoke. A soft golden light spread across the broken hills as Travis and Mira sat quietly, wrapped in his old coat. Behind them, Lab 9 was gone, buried under rubble, ash, and fire. The past had burned, but the future had just begun. Mira rested her head against Travis's arm. She looked tired, but peaceful. Her fingers no longer glowed, not because her power had faded, but because she no longer needed to protect herself. She was safe. She had him, and he had her. Where will we go now, Dad? She asked softly. Travis didn't speak right away. He looked out at the land below. Valleys, broken roads, distant cities waking up. Anywhere, he finally said. Everywhere, wherever you want. She smiled, her little hands playing with the corner of the coat. I don't care where, she whispered. As long as it's with you. They walked for hours, heading toward the quieter edges of the colony. The roads were old, lined with dry weeds and fading signs. No cameras, no patrols, just sky and silence. Along the way, they found an abandoned farm station, dusty, half collapsed, still standing. Travis fixed a solar panel Myra cleaned. A space near the window. It wasn't much, but it was theirs. Days passed. Mira began planting small seeds in the garden out back. Old vegetables left in packets from the last owners. Travis repaired the water pump every morning. She ran outside, barefoot, to check the plants. Every night, they sat beside the window, watching the stars. And slowly, life became normal. Not perfect, but real. One morning, Travis found Myra sitting at the old kitchen table, scribbling on a broken tablet with her fingertip. She looked up quickly. Nervous. What are you doing? He asked. She hesitated. Writing a name. He stepped closer and saw what she had written. Myra James. She looked up at him shyly. You said I could choose who I want to be. I want your name. Dad, I want to be your daughter. For real. Travis felt something in his chest. A warmth he hadn't felt in years. He nodded, his voice quiet. Then it's yours. She smiled. Her whole face lit up. That night, as they sat by the fire, Travis pulled out the last remaining data chip, the one they hadn't looked at yet. This has your full file, he said. Everything they ever wrote about you. Myra looked at it, then shook her head gently. I don't need it. You sure? She nodded. I don't need their version of who I am. I already found out who I want to be. She looked up at him, your daughter. Travis smiled. He tossed the chip into the fire. It sizzled and vanished. Just like the lab, just like the fear. Weeks turned into months. Myra grew stronger. She could now lift heavy crates with a glance, send thoughts across long distances, and even help heal small wounds with a touch. But she never used her powers for fun, only for good. Only when it mattered. She had learned control. She had learned compassion, because Travis had taught her what real love felt like, not by command, not by test, but by simply being there, by staying when others ran, by choosing her when no one else did. One evening, while watching the sky turn red and orange, Mira said softly, Do you think others like me are still out there? Travis looked at her. Maybe. Do you think? They're alone? He nodded. Probably. She took a deep breath. Then one day, I want to help them. I want to find them, save them. He smiled. You'll make a good sister. She giggled, then leaned against his shoulder. I never thought I'd get this, she whispered. A home, a name, a dad, and I never thought I'd get a daughter, he said. In the distance, lights blinked in the sky. Ships passing overhead. Myra watched them go, then whispered one last sentence, "Forever starts today." "Doesn't it?" Travis nodded. Double quotes, "Yes," he said. "A day, and every day after." They sat together until the stars appeared, and this time, neither of them was alone.